TRE. We've got Extension in with us this morning. You guys have a new home. It's official.
We do. Yes, yeah. In the middle of it. We are in the middle of transitioning to the new office, which is the community building on the fairgrounds. So we're excited about it. It's been good.
It's really been a year, but it seems like a long time coming, right?
It's been longer than a year because we, as it's been stated in many articles and some public speaking engagements, it's been a active project for 8+ years probably, where it's been discussed. It's been, how can we make it happen? So we've always known that it's been on the horizon, that was the goal. It's just right now is, the timing was perfect to go ahead and move forward with the project. So within the last year and a half really has sped up. But the last 90 days has been that hard push of, okay, now we're moving, the building's done, learning all of the new building, what that looks like.
Had the official ribbon cutting. It's a big day and kind of open house for everybody to come through.
It was good. Now, there's a lot of people there. So our goal too, as 4-H and Extension, is to get everything in and then also probably host some form of an open house as well, just from an Extension standpoint, because we have 500 youth that enroll in our 4-H program and families that are used to going to our old office. So we want to welcome them to the new space, because that will be where projects will be hosted at the fair. So our hope is that we can get them in and see what the new space looks like, and they can become accustomed to it, because we know people are still going to go across the road and probably call, and where are you at, and we'll have to redirect them. And so make it as obvious as possible. So it's been awesome. The building is so nice. It's a great asset to the community for sure, for what it is. So
it's exciting too. All the 4-H projects will be housed there.
Yes.
This year's fair. So we gotta have some grace this summer.
Yes, absolutely. It's definitely gonna kind of take a lot, because we all are trying to figure out what that is going to look like, and really until we get to the fair, we don't necessarily know. I mean, we can plan, and we already are trying to kind of plan and come up with ideas of how we want to display projects and lay them out and kind of do all of the things, but until we're really in it, we won't know. So it's definitely going to be a lot of please bear with us. Please give us a little bit of grace, because we're trying to figure it out, just like the kids are trying to figure out, where am I going? What am I doing? And just kind of all of the things this year. So it's definitely going to be a grace period once again, which, I mean, our families have been great with us the last couple years of the changes have been kind of getting shifted from different buildings last year, and just a lot of movement. But definitely excited to be in one building. The ribbons, if we have to, go back and grab one more, a lot closer this year.
I'm going to save some steps this summer.
So I was definitely cut down on the steps, which, being inside a conditioned building on top of it will be very nice as well. So really excited to see what the fair is going to bring this year. Speaking
of the fair and 4-H, enrollment is open.
It is open, yep. So it is open all the time technically, but May 15th is still kind of that deadline for our livestock families. So if you're a livestock kiddo, you got to have all of your stuff in 4-H online. You need to be enrolled, animal identification information, all of that has to be in by May 15th. If you are just interested in doing a static project and you miss that May 15th soft deadline-ish, you can still sign up. And if you're interested in livestock, you could still sign up after May 15th. You just can't bring the actual animal. You could still do a poster project. So we're kind of in the full swing of things. We're just getting project books ordered. So of course that would happen while we're moving. So we kind of have those in, but we're waiting to get moved over, and then we'll start distributing those, because once again, that's probably going to look like a new process than what it's been in the past, just with all of the changes. So
it's really go time.
Yeah,
we're telling me how many days, and I'm like, let's not.
We're in full prep swing. Get this, get that. We're in it.
We're in it. Here we are.
Yeah, we're in it.
Yeah. It'll be it's going to be good. I'm excited to see how the new building looks. There's going to be a stage that will be set up in there as well. That's where we're going to still host fashion review and public speaking at that. But I think there's also going to be some entertainment possibly in there. That's one of those growing pain issues where trying to figure out what that looks like with the fair committee. We actually have a meeting this evening it'll be the first time some of them see the new building as well.
Okay.
So just, as we get ideas going, because there's still more improvements that are going to happen on the fairgrounds. It's not just this building. So there's other things they're looking at doing over the next few years on how to improve it. as a revenue stream for the county as well as an asset. So it's something that new building and 4-H going on, yeah. So as we've said once, and I continue to tell our families, grace, please.
That's the word of the year.
And it has
Yes.
been, our families have been excellent, and they're always excellent with us. There's some new projects we're even working with some clubs that we know we need to, there's just a lot going. We have a lot of irons in the fire. One of the things that I did find, so before we went on air, we were talking about so we were in the previous building for roughly 30 years.
Okay.
So the building before that used to be on Main Street behind what was Needler's IGA.
Oh.
So there was a building that sat there on that gravel lot. That was where one of the original extension offices was. So it moved from there to this building, the old office now. So we're going through all the things. And with that, we find all kinds of historical
found
documents.
All the things.
Yeah.
Yes.
So one of the things I found that I thought would be fun to read just to show how 4-H has progressed over the years and what it looked like then versus maybe how it has changed is it was from a newspaper article from 1944-45, and it was the 4-H membership rules.
Oh.
And I thought it was really interesting just how it laid it out. So the first rule was, so then also just to reiterate, these are not current rules. These are very antiquated,
Yes.
but there's a lot in here that highlights just how it has changed. So a club member shall have passed his 10th birthday by July 1st and shall not have passed his 21st birthday on January 1 of the same year. Members should take only those projects that are adapted to their farm and home conditions and should select only those breeds of livestock or strains of crops that are recognized in the local community. Each member should enroll in the division or year of the project for which is best fitted. Each member shall make an effort to attend all meetings of his club and to take part in the meetings. Each member shall follow instructions on the local club leader and shall study carefully material furnished relative to his project. Each member shall keep complete, neat, and accurate records of his project work. Record books will be furnished by the 4-H Club Division of Purdue University. Before exhibiting, each member must submit to the county extension agent an up-to-date record, and each member shall meet the exhibit requirements of his project. That's it. Those are the 8 requirements for it. But the first 3 really highlight how 4-H has changed, because at one point in time there were only, I think, 18 to 20 projects, and they were crop, livestock, or some form of sowing. So it really guides you to that if it's not adapted to your home life, because 4-H was meant to raise youth to become professionals or to be homesteaders, to what we consider homesteaders now, to be productive farmers, to be productive livestock men, homemakers, whatever it is. 4-H really helped guide that. So now when we look at 4-H, it's totally different. We're not looking at what are our local livestock that we have where our community would accept it, because we have hybrids. We've got all kinds of crossbreds. We have all kinds of things that come in as far as livestock. We have corn and soybeans that we bring that, it's so different now. And it's just interesting to read those, to think about in 1945, that was kind of the expectation. That's what you meant to be 4-H. So just something fun I found, because there was also in that same article, there was a volunteer expectations, and it was very indicative of the times, because like one of them was literally just don't be selfish.
Oh.
It said must be unselfish. The other one said must be able to communicate. One said must enjoy the presence of children. Like it was just very much like you toe this line or you're out. So
maybe we should reinstate those.
Sometimes. Well, and that's one of the things that we do have ABEs, and it's a lot of the same rules. They're a little softer. Not
delivery.
Yeah,
delivery is different.
Yeah, the communication was a little different then.
It's more than like 3 words. They're they're full sentences, solid sentences now.
So, but it's been fun. We've been able to go through all kinds of old pictures, videos, and we're just finding a lot of stuff. And we're not done.
Have you been surprised at the amount of stuff you have found?
Boy, that's tough to answer, because I'm somebody that, so a previous role of mine was as kind of being a process improvement project leader, engineer, whatever you want to call it. So I always was going through stuff, looking what do we need, what do we not keep, and would gently at times get rid of stuff that we wouldn't need. Now it's just the big one. So Yes, to some degree, because there's some stuff that has been packed that I've never seen where it's like, I didn't even know this was here. And it's a lot of historical documents, or it's historical things with the homemakers, because as we unfortunately have those homemakers consolidate the group clubs, they will bring their historical information to us. And those are always fun to read through because they have very specific ways that they used to document. And it was, if you were not at a meeting, it was like word for word, step by step of what the minutes were. And they would also post those in the paper. So we've had some papers that I found that are from 50s, 40s, because I found some of those in these other clippings where it would be like, Emily walked up to the podium in a very dashing, like, hat and a pencil skirt, and it was this and that, and she talked about this jam she made, and it's
very descriptive.
Yeah, so if you're not there, you could read and be like, okay, next time I go to club, that's all they would call it then, you would know what very specifically happened. So it is shocking to some degree because we have a lot of what is considered waste as far as just stuff that we've accumulated that we don't need. So right now our main goal is we're moving all of our essential items first, the stuff that we need to conduct business. And I would say that 90% of that is in. We're functioning out of the new building. The address is 822 South County Road, 200 West. It's directly across from our other building. So now we're going to start going over as an office and having hard discussions about, do we need this? Is this essential? Is it not? Can we get rid of it? Can we donate it? Can we, what do we do with it? Because we have a lot of stuff that probably is still good. It's just, it's worn its wear where we need it. So we need to figure out how do we use it to its best ability to pass it along to somebody else at this point. So
I'll tell you what I hate about you guys moving is when I come in, I can only see who's at work for you guys, but now I can't. I'm like, oh, Leanna's there, Bonita's there.
We're still trying to figure out, parking is one of
I
those
was like, the first day
Yeah.
that I noticed, I was like, oh, I was like, not that it matters, but
Yeah.
that's just my normal
Yeah.
routine, right? And I was like, oh.
So you bring up a good point, though. One of the things that I've had a couple people ask me about. So a couple things. Let's talk about a few things that I've been asked about very specifically.
Okay.
One is parking at the new building. So right now, what is going on at the building, it is asphalt, but it's considered the rough coat. So it is not the final.
It's not the smooth stuff yet.
Correct.
Okay.
So they put that down to get us by. Then this summer they will come back through and they will put on that smooth coat, and then they will paint lines for where handicap parking is, and to just general parking spots. So it'll guide you more, because right now it's kind of the Wild West. So that is coming. The other thing that we've been asked about, and there's a rumor going around right now that there's a grain bin that sits outside the building.
Yes.
We are an ag area, so it kind of fits with the facade. But the grain bin, so there's a rumor going around that we built that specifically to do education.
Oh.
And do like grain bin rescue, education, that sort of thing. And
that is not true.
That is not the case. That is
No,
correct.
that is not.
So the grain bin is there as a shell or a facade of a water bladder tank that feeds the fire suppression system. So that technically is just a large water tank, just on an emergent situation that we were to need to have a sprinkler system. It allows there to be enough pressure. So that is a water tank. So
And it looks very nice.
It
They
is.
did a great job.
That is one of those. From my current new office, it sits outside my window, and when the sun hits it just right, it is blinding.
I am sure it is.
Yeah, we probably need to invest in some type of blinder.
Yeah. So
Curtain.
those two things. That is one of those things I've been asked about. Just so parking will happen with the lines and stuff, and that's not that would be super nice to be able to have some sort of training apparatus like that. However, it is meant for the logistics of the building to keep public safety in mind. So it's that is those are the two things that kind of and the water tank is the big one. Everybody's like, oh, that's so nice. Is it they got grain in it or what is it? No, it's just water
It's
and
just water
Just
tank.
water?
yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Just a pretty water tank.
So I would be remiss. So one of the things I did want to bring, this doesn't necessarily fall into our scope as far as Purdue, but the county's done a good job of saying, we want you in the building. We want you to utilize the building. So we are stewards of that space as well. So one of the things, there is a contract. So it is a rentable asset. So if you're somebody that wants to utilize it as far as a space for a corporate event or some sort of birthday party or wedding or event to that structure, there is a contract that you can fill out. So the biggest, that is one of those that at the current time, you can still get that contract through our office. So you'd have to call Bonita. The rental fee for the building is $2,500 right now. There is a $500 deposit that's refundable, so that's just to make sure that when we go in after the fact that nothing's broke, damaged, anything like that. So if everything is good, you get that back. The $2,500 rental fee will give you access to the large space, the big space in the back, the kitchenette that is in there, so it's a full kitchen. You will also get tables and chairs, and you will have access the day before to set up, the day of your event, and then the day after for tear down.
Okay, so it's a 3-day
Yep,
type of thing.
ish. Yep. So even though you're renting it for one day for your event, you can get those if you feel that you need all of those. Trash is something that there are bins in the building that you put your trash in, but that is on the renter at this time to take off, and there are dumpsters that are laid out in the contract where that needs to go in close proximity to the building. So don't want to share that, so then people just start dumping on it. But that is one of those things that it is there. It is to be rented. The schedule and the book is filling up quickly. That is one of those that we have.
That's good news.
Yeah, we have people in daily right now that are wanting to look at the book for events this year and for 27 already that they want to use the space. So
which is what it's meant for. I mean, that's the big thing, that it is meant so that the community can use it throughout the year.
Yeah. So we, at the open house, that's one of the things I talked about. The previous building was built in 49 was when it was erected. Yep. So that one stood for like 77 years.
Yeah.
Where we now hope this community building will kind of usher in. So that's one of the things that's been fun is in some of our old pictures, I actually found pictures from 55, I think, in the community building that was torn down where they were having events in it.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
So it was interesting to see that. They had one of them was a dance, and just to see how it was modeled then because it was totally different.
Sure.
There was like French doors on one side, the windows were open, there were hanging pendant lights. Like it was just
wow.
You could tell it was like our building in the 50s.
In
like
that
it was
frame.
that was the new place. So hopefully this building will be utilized to that degree. We as 4-H and Extension are excited to use it for programming. There are access to AV in it, so we are going to utilize that to the best of our ability to host programs. And again, like one of the things that we want to talk about today, Sabrina is actually at another meeting, that's why she's not here, is that the meeting she's at where they're discussing the rain barrel workshops.
Yes.
And that is one of the most popular workshops that we probably do. It fills up very quickly, so they're identifying dates, so be on the lookout for that marketing when that comes out. But that's a great example of how the new building will streamline so much, because prior, if you've never attended one of the events, you would do the program at the extension office, you would kind of have some education, you would have a break, and then you would have to walk all the way across, which isn't a huge bit depending if there's some limitations, walk over to whichever building they would be able to access. Then they would do the actual lab part where they would build a rain barrel, where this year they can do the education, and then they can use the other part of the building to actually do the lab. So it's going to just make it so much easier to host those larger events where we can have the space designated. So
when is the rain barrel going to be? Do we know?
We don't yet. That's what
okay.
they're discussing today. They're looking at calendar. I know she said the first one was
They're, I think, hoping like April time frame.
Yeah. So I know they try to do a couple throughout the year, but they really like to hit that springtime, just so then as we get those spring showers, people can install their rain barrels to be able to utilize for catchment and that sort of thing. So that's hopefully what they are identifying today is those dates, so then they can get those put out, because I think last year they did like 3 of them and everyone was waitlist.
They book up super fast.
Yeah. So it's a whole thing. So that's kind of from the ag side, because the other thing that's going on right now, PARPs are really popular. So if you're somebody that needs to get some points for your licenses for your applicator, now's the time to watch for those PARPs. You can find those through the state chemist office. You can call the office. We can help you find some. We might have 1 or 2 more just here shortly, but most of them are pretty much past, because people try to get ahead of March when everybody starts really getting in the fields.
When it's busy.
Yeah. So that's kind of where that stands as far as ag is concerned.
All right. Along with the fair, we have 4-H, but we also have open class.
Open class. So I know that is one of those that the books are done.
Yes, we have one.
You have one. We
have
have
one.
some, and we are trying to get them distributed throughout the county still, because we take them to different locations. So be sure to find those, and we can post where those would be on Facebook. and they have all the rule updates and things. So that's one of those program areas that it will at this time remain in the same building that it was at, which is going to be the Farm and Home building. So we see that program grow every year. It's something that Bonita has taken that on personally to streamline, to improve. So she does a great job with that. So that's one of those that the books are out earlier than they ever have been. So get them, start working on your project. We did identify, so the last time we were on, we identified, so this will be our second annual extension craft off, open class off. I don't know, we need to come up with a really savvy name.
I'm excited to see these projects.
So we took 6 projects, wrote them down on some papers, put them in a hat, and in one of our office meetings, we drew what it was going to be, and crochet is what won. So it's going to be
some really long chains.
So we're going to leave it very open, where if we're not, we're not going to fall into one of the classes. It's just going to be crochet something. And then we will allow the greater masses that come to the fair vote on whose project is the
So how does everyone in the office feel about this project?
That is a fantastic question, Emily. I'm glad you asked that. Not excited.
I am very excited. What are you talking about? I want to learn how to do it, but I know it's going to be terrible. So I might be submitting a really long chain.
That's okay.
But I am excited to learn a new skill.
I hope that you can.
I don't think the execution piece is going to be great, but I am excited to learn the new skill.
I know that.
You're not going to cheat and let Jess do it for you, are you?
Well, so that is interesting. So Jess so my wife just picked up crocheting as a hobby.
Yes.
And she picked it up very quickly, which gives me false confidence probably that I will also pick it up very quickly.
Okay.
But I know Sabrina already crochets a little on the side. I think Bonita used to crochet.
Oh.
So cards are stacked against us already.
Okay.
But
what about Lana? Is she a crocheter?
No, because I thought she said she does not know, or maybe she learned at one point. But I feel like she
did it. She talked about maybe doing a chain too, but never.
Right? Yeah.
I think everybody at one point that was probably like a very generational thing of sit down, here's a hook, and
you're gonna do a chain. It's the turning around and coming back.
Yeah, you got to count your rows, and that's it. I have multiple people in my family that crochet, and Nora and I talk about this often because she does as well, where people will crochet, talk to you, watch TV, and be on the phone
at the same time.
And then they will be you'll just see them rip out multiple rows because they didn't like it, or they went one over, or
they
didn't count.
That is Aaron's grandmother, my husband's grandmother. She will sit there, and she's 96, and watches TV, and we'll have a whole conversation, and eye to eye with you,
just does it,
and we'll get just row after row, and be like, you know what, I don't really like it, and rip it back out. I'm like, oh my gosh, what did you just do? That would have taken me hours, and what took you minutes. I'm like, I've got.
I think this is exciting.
I'm excited to learn the skill.
We certainly can open it up to bring WTRE.
We appreciate we really do. We're going to see how you guys do this year.
We absolutely. I think they're saying they will absolutely judge us.
I'm trying to think the other projects that we had.
I can submit a chain, but it's just going to be a chain.
I don't know. I am going to challenge myself to sit down and learn over the next few months to have something.
Was Jess all self-taught?
So she is somebody else that she wanted a hobby because she felt that whenever she had downtime, she's like, I just want something to do. So, and she has aunts, and her mom is a very strong seamstress as well. So she's like, I see them do it, and they make it look so easy that I want to also learn.
So she comes from the genetics, though.
So she got patterns and YouTubed, and, without outing my wife because I love her, she and I are very similar. We are very quick to things. And when we aren't, it's the most frustrating thing possible. So the very first night that she we went to Hobby Lobby, she got a hook that had a light on it. All the things, because she was like, I'm gonna nail this. And then literally sat down for 5 minutes the very first time, and then I look over and she was crying, and I was like, what is wrong? She's like, I can't get it. And I was like, you have been stop it right now. And I say that knowing that will absolutely be me in the next few weeks probably. But yeah, but it was one of those where she's like, once you understand and get the feel of it, because the biggest thing that I know she did that we called my aunt is that her knots were too tight and her hands were getting too wound up.
Okay.
Where my aunt was like, you need to be relaxed, and she explained how to do it, and then Jess was like, oh, that makes sense. And Dad even crochets. And Dad was like, "Oh, tell her to put a little like all these little tricks, like put a little powder on her finger, she'll be all right." And I was like, as you know, she was frustratingly trying to learn, and I was like on the phone to people like, "You're doing it wrong. They're saying to do it this way," which you can tell probably went over like a lead balloon.
I'm sure, yeah.
So she, and now we've got all the crocheted fish, a couple chickens.
Okay, so
like
she's progressing.
Yeah,
So
really.
if a fish or a chicken
Shows
shows up
up.
at the fair
We know where it came
and
from.
wins, Jess actually gets the trophy.
let's be honest, you will know if I do the fish because I'm like, yeah, there's no doubt that Chris did that one.
It'll be super exciting.
Yeah,
It is.
I'm
And
excited.
we'll see.
It's
Yeah.
it's the in the tradition of competition. So we will.
You know, my lessons with Granny, they're gonna really pay off.
They are.
I've already signed up. I'm like, teach me.
It's go time.
So it's gonna be good.
Crocheting. It's great.
Yeah,
Yeah.
crocheting. Yeah. So I may throw it out. I'm gonna do a doily. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna let people know.
You're going to do a doily.
Yeah, hard pass. I have a grandma that does doilies, and I have no.
Oh.
It's insane.
We have a listener that crochets, Susie Van Dyke, and she does the doilies, and then she started doing the angels.
Yeah, where you starch them and stuff.
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, that was one of those things that my grandma. So crocheting is an art that's coming back, but crocheting that small of thread and doilies is a lost art because my grandma that crochets doilies, that was one of those things where we talked one time where she said, "I want you to come over so I can teach you how to starch the doilies, so then you will be able to do that," because I never knew how she did it.
No.
And for those that maybe don't understand, it's where a doily looks like thicker lace, basically, that you would table runners you'd put, and when you starch them, it firms them up where they don't move. So like you can do shapes and stuff with them, but it's a very specific way that you're not using spray starch. You're putting like cornstarch in water, then you're soaking it, and then you form it, and it's a whole art
It's a
in
whole
itself.
thing.
Yeah, it's insane.
My granny crocheted, and she did the doilies and the angels and the whole thing, but I just didn't get that gene. I can sew. Maybe
I
we'll
can't
do
even do
sewing
that.
next year.
See, that's where did we do woodworking? Was that one of them? 'Cause was
I
hoping for
tried
that.
really, really hard to get woodworking. Like, I was really, really voting, and
remember-
you all got mad because you're like, absolutely not, because you have access to everything, and, like, you were already sore losers because you knew I was going to win.
Because it was what? Diamond art, crocheting,
And do we do, like, needlepoint?
needlepoint was one of
Okay.
them, and there was one other one I feel like. I remember what it was now, but yeah. So
Yeah, you
This has to
crochet
be
was-
fun for you because you weren't a 4-H kid, right?
Correct. I was not.
So
I
like
was,
this is like adult 4-H.
Yes. Yes.
I love it.
That's where, I mean, I get really competitive, too, so.
Yeah, I don't
a
know
downfall
why.
we
I
all
don't know why
have.
you get competitive because you know you're gonna lose. So
I have yet to see the bragging rights trophy in your office.
that is true. That is one of the things we
Just saying.
implemented.
Just saying.
We have a trophy that travels in different competitions and events, and it's called the Bragging Rights Trophy. So when something good happens, we recognize people in the office to pass that along, so they can, people can ask what the trophy's for and all the things. And
It's
we
not
have,
made it to your office yet?
No.
I'm the one that I kind of
He
recuse
started
myself
it.
because I'm the one that selects the stuff. So it wouldn't
Okay.
make sense that I
He
win it every
just
time.
is a really sore loser because I beat him at bowling. When the trophy was
Whatever.
up for grabs.
He's holding it back, I can tell.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I try to take it down to your all's level, so then it's not.
It's
Not
unfair.
embarrassing.
I
Right, you
I
don't
watched you.
embarrass
Yeah. So I'm also highly competitive,
Yeah.
even though I try to play it off. But on the inside, I'm on fire with rage.
I get it.
I don't
It's
even
bad.
hide it.
So-
I don't hide it.
You don't have it?
I don't hide it.
Oh, I
Oh,
was
yeah,
like, you
no,
don't
she
have the
doesn't.
competitive
Oh.
side?
Oh no, are you kidding me? No, like when we putt-putted. So that's one of the traditions we do in the office a couple years ago that we started, where we, on usually like the Tuesday leading into Fair Week or Monday, we go and play around a putt-putt just to.
Just
Because
breathe.
it's so busy at that time. It's like just to get away, have fun, and everybody else typically is like laughing and stuff. And Nora and I are like silent and don't speak to anybody, and it's just kind of like, hey, I got away. I got to focus on.
We have to win.
I can't help it. I was raised playing sports. Like, that's just,
And we win.
it's in my blood.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, but yeah, so we're thick in it. I know that we put a lot on hold right now. That's one of those we normally come on and talk about programs that we have going, but with the uncertainty of when we were going to be able to move in with the new building and stuff, we're starting to get programs back up and getting planned and in the community, because obviously we couldn't host them because we do have a bit of a deadline to get, I think, everything out of our current our old office by like mid-March, April timeframe.
Is something moving into your office, or do you know?
So there are some plans in the works right now. I don't want to share what they are because I don't know if they have been kind of, put in wet signature of this is happening, but there are plans to utilize that space as potentially another office space in the future. So that's where we need to get out so that he can go in and do a really deep look at the building. The building is fine, but just will it meet the needs of what's going on, or how will the building be utilized once all of our stuff is out, basically. So, yes, I think that it will be reutilized and it won't just be an asset that sits empty. So, which is good. I'm excited to see it get refreshened. I know that there's a couple things with the building they are going to do, but like hopefully take down the dreadful border that is up in it.
You just really hate that border.
Dude, it is so bad. It's like the,
it's just very like 90s
point,
homely feeling.
Right. At
That's
one point it was the thing.
Yeah, it's not anymore.
I'm just so like blind to it that I don't even pay any attention to it anytime we walk in that office anymore.
I see it every time I walk in.
And it's up maybe because I'm short. It's just like up so high and I'm short.
He probably should have a small piece of that border to take with him to
I think
the
we
new
should
building.
absolutely frame it and we can hang it in our office.
That is, was that on like, there was a sitcom that did that where
I think it was on Full House. Yeah,
it was on Full House because it was like the
rabbit or duck.
It was the pink bunnies.
The pink bunnies, yes.
The pink bunnies.
So maybe we should trim a piece off and take it with us to
I
always
think
remember
we
that
office
office
one in
guy.
each office.
I think just as a reminder of where you came from.
Yeah. This is where we started.
Facts,
right.
Facts.
That's right.
As far as homemaker stuff is concerned, there are some stuff to kind of be aware of. Madison's Spring District Retreat meeting is being held on Friday, March 27th. It's going to be in Delaware at the Delaware Volunteer Fire Department this year. So reach out to your president, let them know your club president. The Spring Fling Retreat is also taking place. It's going to be in conjunction with Decatur County and Bartholomew County. So that's going to take place at St. Mary's in their event space there. And then as far as the rest of the stuff, we have a lot of sewing days scheduled coming up. So March 20th from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. This will still be, so that is one thing I guess we should point out as well. The old office has 2 conference spaces in it, and they will be maintained as conference spaces at this time.
Okay.
So like the sewing days are planned for there, they will still take place in that facility. So that is something that until further notice, those will continue to be conference spaces that you can reserve to be utilized as far as nonprofit is concerned. So that is one of those things. But yeah, looking forward to springtime, getting everything kind of figured out, get settled, get everything in the building. We've got the majority of it there. It's just finalizing details and start using the building to its max capacity. So
very good. If they want to register for 4-H, how do we go about it?
If you just simply Google 4-H online, that's honestly the easiest because the web address is like v2.4honline.com. So if you just Google 4-H online, it'll pull right up. The other big thing is we have our quality livestock care classes that are starting up. So we're going to host one in March, one in April, and one in May. So if you show livestock, you need to take one of those classes unless you are in horse and pony. You do not have to do it if you are in horse and pony. But it's like an hour-long class.
You do it every year?
Yep, so they have to do it every year. And if you do show on a national level, some species do require you to have YQCA instead. So this is your reminder that if you do YQCA, you also need to get that done. But QLC is the one that we host at our office. So the first one's going to be March 7th, I believe. So it'd be next Saturday at 9 a.m. in the new building. We're going to test it out and see how it works. Our one in April, I think, is like April 16th. It's a Wednesday evening. We're going to try something a little different. And then our one in May is, I'm being put on the spot, like May, like 11th, I think. It's like the second. It's the second Saturday, I know, because it's the same day as rabbit and poultry tagging, blood testing, tattooing. And that one's going to start a little bit later at 11, so those kids could just kind of slide on over. So those are up and going, and this year we are not going to charge youth to do it. So in the past, we've always charged $3, so hopefully no one's listening that's going to turn me in. So we're going to offer it at no charge this year.
Very good.
So, and that is all done. Registration is done online
Yes.
through your each youth profile. So you'd have to
Yes.
select your youth, go into the event section, add event, and then you would search Decatur County, and then it will pull up the 3 dates there specifically.
you
And
can
if you
choose.
are not approved in 4-H online, it will not let you sign up for the event. So that catches a lot of people because you can pay by credit card online or you can pay by cash or check in our office. And if you choose cash or check, you do not get approved until we receive that payment in the office. So please be cautious of that. If you're wondering why you can't find events or things like that, it's more than likely because we're waiting to receive the payment. And simple little fixes, but so don't panic.
No panic.
Don't
It'll get
panic.
taken care of.
Yep,
but-
we can get it taken care of, but those are quickly approaching, and that's always a big one that we're trying to get kids in for. So
Okay, mini 4-Hers, do they register online as well?
yes, so exact same platform through 4-H online. Same thing with our volunteers. Create profiles through 4-H online. So if you can make it to 4-H online,
You do whatever you need to do.
you can pretty much figure it out. And if you have problems, you can always call the office, reach out to one of us. We'll get you in.
All right, guys. Well, thanks so much for being on this morning. Glad that you've moved. You've moved across the road.
Yeah.
Yep,
We're
just
making it.
right there.
All right. Phone number to the extension office.
812-663-8388. And again, the new address is 822 South County Road, 200 West, Greensburg, Indiana, 47240.
All right. We'll see you next month.
Thanks. See ya.
Thanks.